Hello, everybody. We are live.
It might take a few minutes to sync up.
Oh, okay. But we are live, right? We're here.
Yeah.
We are. We're here live at Paradise
Live?
Point. Live. Oh my gosh. Did you not know that?
I had no idea.
Oh, shoot. We're making surprises already. Well, we're going to wait about a minute or two just to let everybody join. But to do some introductions, we are here at HD San Diego Paradise Point for HSMAI. Thank you, Paradise Point, for letting us be in this beautiful location. I mean, look at this.
And it is a beautiful location. Paradise Point is truly amazing and epic. As you can see, the bay is behind us, and what we're looking at is also the bay because it wraps around, and seashell painting is happening right now.
We didn't know about the seashell painting, so we had to move a little bit, but it looks really fun.
Because they were worried I was going to keep getting distracted by the seashell painting, and I really did want to paint one, but maybe we'll have time to do that after.
Well, thank you so much, Paradise Point, for letting us shoot here. We're trying something new with San Diego HSMAI. We usually do some Zoom webinars throughout the year, and we decided that we were going to try this live, since we're live and we're live together, and see how it goes. So I'm excited to be here, and we thought Nick would be the perfect candidate since you are all over LinkedIn in 2025 to try this out. So thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to answer some questions about connecting and forming relationships, because I think even the three of us, Corey, how did you meet Nick? How did you guys meet? Just to kind of kick off the conversation.
Lean in a little bit.
Yeah.
Get nice and close. I like it.
2 mics. And before we get rolling here, guys, I'm trying to check and see if you guys can hear us.
Oh, yeah.
Could you maybe give us a thumbs up, chat, type 1, type 2, whatever it is. Make sure that we're not talking again amongst ourselves here.
So you can't hear us.
Even though that would still be fun to just talk to each other, Corey, and I would be happy with that as well.
Yes, indeed.
But I'd rather speak with all of you at the same time.
So, is this thing on? It is. It says like we're on.
All right.
All right. So
we're going to have Corey monitor the chat. If you guys have questions for Nick, put it in the chat. We'll get to it kind of at the end. And
Kimberly, were you saying we'll get to it when we get to it?
No, it'll be at the end.
yeah, we're live.
All right.
We got 5 people.
Cool.
Thank you, 5 people
Thank
for showing up.
Yeah.
We see you 5 people, and we appreciate all 5
7.
of you.
We're up to 7 now.
All right.
Can you guys drop a quick comment?
Just let us know you're out there.
And where you're from, by the way.
That'd be cool.
First-time caller, long-time listener, Corey Falter here.
All caps, can't hear you is fine too, just in case.
All right, just a 1, 2. How about a 1 we can hear you? 2, if you can. That would be kind of funny, right?
All right, well, while we're waiting, I have some questions for Nick about San Diego, since we are HSMAI San Diego. You live in San Diego.
I do.
How long have you lived here, first of all?
I have lived, well, actually, I'm in North County, so Carlsbad, just north of San Diego.
Okay.
And I have lived here for about 17 years, and I absolutely love it. So when you think about the country, there's a lot of really fantastic places. It's hard for me to imagine someplace where no matter what time of year, this is essentially our weather. There's maybe a 5 to 7 degree variation from winter to summer as far as it is, and beautiful blue skies, and that's what we have today. So that's why I'm here, and the wonderful people here with Corey and Kimberly for this. I really like that too.
Awesome. So if someone who's coming to San Diego for the first time, they've never been, the one thing they can't miss is
Paradise Point. We're right here. So
good answer.
I think if you're going to be in the San Diego area, you absolutely need to stop by and see Paradise Point. Okay. What's also really interesting about this resort is they make it really clear that even if you're not a guest here, although you really should be a guest here, there's free parking at Paradise Point for everyone to be able to enjoy the beach, have access to the bay, and it is very prominently announced just as you're pulling into Paradise Point. And I really love that. It's part of the community, and you'll see some sailboats behind me. I believe they rent those out, and there's some wave runners. So if we get 500 people on this LinkedIn Live, Corey said he'll cover the wave runners, and the last 5 minutes will be us doing tricks out on the bay on the wave runners. Be ready
That's
for
a bet
that.
right there.
The next LinkedIn Live will be on the bay, on the paddleboard.
This LinkedIn Live in these outfits, just so we're crystal clear about that.
Got it, got it.
I'm always ready, whether it's live or not. I do also apologize that Corey did not get the memo that we were wearing the all black home jerseys today here in San Diego. He is in the San Diego flip-flops. We did not handle that part, but still looking good. But we are it's all black was the outfit for today.
Wow.
So next time we'll have
Yeah,
that.
I'll put it in a note next time. Just
See, as
sure.
a designer, I'm going with earth tones and just the natural earthiness of Paradise Point. Obviously, green here matches the grass.
That's fair.
Right?
We'll allow it then.
All right.
And it does look good, Corey, as you always do.
Oh, how kind. And that's part of your magic.
So I'm going to go back to my original question just to jump in because I think,
On the monitor.
yeah. All right, cool. How did you two meet? How did you two connect? How
Our
did that get started?
eyes saw each other at the HSMAI San Diego board meeting, and I would say it was love at first sight. But the truth is, I was like, this guy's interesting, but you know what? He works for a marketing agency. At the time, I was with a marketing agency, so
you were frenemies.
competing. So I was like, bring
really
this to me, but not in that. But so the truth is, I could tell he was very smart, but I didn't give it as much of a thought as I did later, and two things happened. So Corey on LinkedIn made 2 posts the same week. First is that he has twin girls. I also have twin girls, so that was a connection point, which that was interesting, but I actually have a lot of friends with twins. But the one that really got me is I saw a picture of Corey from a magazine where he was about 15 feet in the air doing a jump on a dirt bike. And then I found out that not only did Corey ride motorcycles when he was a younger man, now that he's just a slightly older than younger man, he's still out there and getting after it. And I have huge respect for anyone that continues their passions and does things. And I loved riding motorcycles when I was young. So I was like, you know what? I knew he was cool. Now I really, really know he's cool. So
Thank you.
we decided to grab Blaze Pizza together, and I realized then Corey's just someone you want to be around.
I agree.
So
yeah.
outside of hospitality, which he's made a huge impact in the hospitality industry, but you realize there's just certain people that when you're with them, you're like, you know what? That was fun. That was a good conversation. And that's been true for me every time I've spent time with Corey. And Kimberly, when I met you, it was actually at BITAC, which some of my best friends in the industry have been from BITAC events. And I realize it sounds like a plug because it is. Even though I seem like a shill for them, I'm really not. I love events that bring people together. And what I've noticed, there's so many good trade shows in the industry, but that's the one that you get to spend enough time with people that you really get to know them.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's where friendships and also business kind of happens.
They do say business happens in person, sometimes at the bar, sometimes over meals, sometimes shared, and sometimes on LinkedIn. And I noticed that you two do a really good job. I mean, I think the relationship is there, but you guys are always commenting on other people's posts. You're engaging other people as much as you can. So if we can talk about that for a little bit. How long have you been so active on LinkedIn? And what was your process to kind of get where you are today? Because you're all over that thing.
So the truth is I really, really leaned in a little over or just about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when I had a job change that was maybe not as planned, like as far as that. And you realize that when the sands shift, the importance of the personal brand. And I think I actually had done a relatively good job of staying in contact with a lot of different people, but I maybe wasn't as out there in what you would consider promoting as maybe I feel like I should be in what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also realize that what you'll see with a lot of people is they do that when they want to make a job change or when they're trying to sell something.
Yeah.
And that's actually the worst time to do it. So it is when you don't need it is when you can be most effective at it. And then I also realized that one of my favorite things to do in the industry is help other people. I really, really love it. I'd love to do it, and whenever I can. And LinkedIn gives you a platform to do exactly that.
Yeah.
So it gives you reach and connection points and the ability to essentially scale things that you may have been doing already. So that's where right around 3 years.
So on your LinkedIn, you share a lot about not only Amaze and what you're doing in the company, but also personal. I think I've gotten to know you even better on LinkedIn since BiTAC, just from the things you've shared. What would you say is, for someone who is a little nervous about getting on LinkedIn and sharing personal details, what advice would you give those people to just get a little bit more comfortable, even if it's just small?
Well, and I think the most important part for that is only do what you are comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to be really front and center or doing video, don't do those things.
Yeah.
I happen to be very comfortable and willing to do it, but it's not necessary to make the most out of the platform. It could be that you just want to support other people with some comments. It could be that you only want to share professional content, and that's absolutely fine. That's the other part where I feel like there's the LinkedIn police that is like, this is not Facebook, you shouldn't be sharing that. I don't happen to agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like it is a professional platform, but one where you can really be yourself and be out there. I also think that people who do the best with the platform are those who are the most genuine selves that they are on there, where who you really are.
Yeah.
And some of the people I've talked to don't want to be like all the way out there and sharing everything. And my advice to those people is then don't. And there's no need to, and maybe just put out your company releases or anything else, and that's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do want to take the next step and really go out there, then it's a great platform for doing exactly that.
Got it. Do you think, I guess, how much time are you spending, do you think, on LinkedIn a day? And do you think that someone getting started, would you say 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a week? Like, what would be a good plan?
So I have a team of 15 people that work for me,
mm-hmm.
and that manage my LinkedIn, my socials. And I don't. It's just me going through there.
You had me for a second. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
I don't necessarily schedule the time, but I have little breaks throughout the day where I can go and support other people. But any of my longer form posts or content that take me a little more time to create, I'm typically doing those on the weekend, and then I'm scheduling them. So I have found that for me, the early morning is when my posts start to get the most traction,
mm-hmm.
but I don't necessarily create the posts then. I will often record them. So I find Sunday nights, like I'll schedule 2 or 3 posts for the upcoming week on Sunday nights, just because I have a little more time for it. But on any given day, it varies. So if I have a lot going on with work and I don't have time to be on LinkedIn, then I'm not.
Yeah.
But if I have some time in between calls, then I will pop on there and
do you do any brainstorming about what you're going to post, or is it kind of just as it comes, you get inspiration?
As I get inspiration. And I don't take, a lot of people will take notes and go through there. Most of what I'm doing, you're seeing it where it was done in the moment I'm thinking about it. Because what I've realized, it takes almost the exact same amount of time to prepare what you'd like to say than it does to actually say it. What you also notice with my LinkedIn, there definitely are typos and errors and issues. And I'm okay with that.
You're human.
And I have friends who will shoot me either a text or a DM that's like, oh, by the way, these words, and I just go back and fix them.
Yeah.
And those people know that how I do it is I just put it out there. And I also I'm okay with the fact that I think when people see it, they don't think I don't know how to spell the word. It's that I'm typing it on my phone and it comes out that way. So.
Yeah.
And even if they don't, I don't really care.
And by the way, you've helped me on a couple of times by that. Especially on the critical information, like if the time's wrong, date's wrong. But he's reached out to me and said, hey, I don't think you meant that, or it's like, oh my God.
Well, and I try, especially if someone has a post where it changed, because sometimes a word does change the meaning of it. So then it's that.
Absolutely.
Like I will try and shoot the note. What I try not to do ever is snipe in the comments, like where it's like, oh, Corey, you didn't do this, like that. Like my persona and who I am is I try and be fully supportive, help build people up, because it's really easy to like try and bring others down. And for me, like I have no desire to do that at all. So anything I could do to help others and build, like that's really where I want to be.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's turn it a little bit, do a little right turn and talk about in-person relationship building, if that's okay. So I think, and you're you sales background all the way, started your career in sales.
Started my career in accounting.
Accounting?
As a
I didn't
matter
know
of
that.
fact. So I was
Really?
an intern at Newmarket International in the accounting department.
Okay.
I was an accounting major at Indiana University. And when I got there, I saw, again, great accounting people. They were really nice. They were really kind. They were really quiet and in there. And then when I almost got hit in the head by a football while I was walking by the sales team, I realized that maybe is a better spot for me. And I joined as an intern, and that was in the days they were doing about 50 calls a day. And you did not have, this definitely dates me, you did not have the internet. So you did not have LinkedIn, you did not have Google. So you had literally a print out of phone numbers, and you would call those numbers. And I was selling Delphi, which was computer automation. At the time in the hospitality industry, no one had computers. And that would be the first thing everyone said, well, we don't have computers. Yes, that's why I'm calling. And part of that sales process, you would have to convince them to spend about $30,000, which was a lot more than $30,000 is now, to buy a file server and then all the computers and Delphi. So that was a whole lot of fun, and it really was a whole lot of fun, but a hard type of selling.
Do you think that technique would work today? Just calling numbers down the line?
And the reason it doesn't work today is because of all of the automations that exist today that they've really hurt sales. So it is the automatic dialers where people are getting too many like spammy phone calls. Same thing with email, because email can be blasted out with such high velocity and such little thought. We're all sifting through just a whole lot of crap to get to where you are, which is the other part where I really like conversations where you can kind of get to know someone and put that out there, because sales is becoming not necessarily harder, but becoming different. So you have to have different tools in your toolkit to be an effective seller.
What do you think the number one tool is besides personal relationships, personal connections, if you had to pick something else?
It's a really good question. I think it probably is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So LinkedIn right now is essentially a supercharger for what you're doing and then what you can learn about your customers to go through there.
Got it. Now, do you think that the way we network and connect since COVID has changed? I have a personal thought on it, but I wanted to get
I'd love to hear your thought first. What do you think?
I feel like since we all got stuck at home and couldn't leave the office, I noticed as a seller that coming back and trying to do sales calls has become a whole lot harder. So I used to be able to just show up at the hotel and say hi and check in, and now that's becoming harder to get a face-to-face. Do you agree with that, or feel free to disagree?
I have not found that, but I'm also not typically doing cold meetings where I walk into a hotel. So through my career, I did probably either hundreds or thousands of true cold calls where I walked in cold, and I only got a single deal out of all those. Now that deal was worth more than $1 million, so I think it probably made up for all of them. And that cold call, I actually got screamed at for about 45 minutes on the cold call. So it happened to be, I think enough time has passed that I can even say names, so I will. It was Tarsadia Hotels, which I also feel comfortable doing it because they're not around in the same way anymore. And I became very good friends later with the person who it was, and he was 100% in the right. So they had one hotel that was using the Delphi product and it was not going well. And that's what I heard about. So on that, he's like, do you think I want to talk about this? Do you realize what we've done with this? And I listened and I listened and I listened. So after about 45 minutes, I said, would you be willing to let me go there? I said, I don't know what the issues are. And again, this is before where you could like very easily figure out. So I went there and face to face, I sat down. And what I realized is this is a hotel that hadn't done any of the training, didn't know how to use the product. So they didn't think it could do the things that it could. And I was far from a trainer, but I knew the product inside and out from selling. And after about an hour sitting with the hotel, we were able to show them how they could actually do all the things they needed to. And then interestingly, the meeting that started out like really, really poorly turned all the way around. Well, and then they wound up putting the product in every single one of their hotels. And that part where you realize that being open and willing to listen to some pretty negative feedback can, if you are open and willing to change and affect that, can lead to some pretty big opportunities and deals.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to get back to cold calling again and find some of those there. So
you can, if you need a list, you know, well, we can, I think we can help.
I'll be ready for that.
It's never cold when someone already knows your name.
That's true.
That's true too. Where now
true.
I have found on LinkedIn where, in fact, at the Hotel Data Conference, my badge was Nicholas, and I had 3 separate people that, like, after they stopped and they're like, "Oh wait, you're Nick Horgan. I know you from LinkedIn." And that's where I realized, like, on my personal brand, where it is like Nick, not Nicholas, but I am indeed Nicholas.
So are you going to change your name officially to just Nick?
I will not do it officially, but I will make sure that my badge for any conference is saying just Nick, because I did realize that did not work as well. In fact, I almost changed it while I was at the conference, but I was too busy doing the networking that I never got a chance to. So.
Got it. Okay. I have a question from Trey. Trey is our VP of Education. So,
and Trey, who's made a huge impact in the San Diego market.
Yes.
I actually met him on LinkedIn.
Oh, well, there you go.
On,
Trey,
and then we grabbed lunch not far from here. And I think we had tacos, but it was definitely a great experience. So I believe Trey is at the Catamaran and the Bahia. I think he's more at the Bahia than the Catamaran, but great properties. And they're right on the same bay we're on right here. And fun story on that, where those hotels were started, I think right after the Army Corps of Engineers like dug out the Mission Bay right here.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
And if I'm wrong on that, you go ahead and put it in the comments, because that'll help with our engagement anyway.
Well, he couldn't be here because he's doing site visits, closing deals, you know.
I respect that.
Yeah, yeah.
He was coming first. Oh, quickly. Oh. I know we're having video problems, guys, so hopefully you can just hear us anyways. You're staring at a beautiful view anyways and not moving us. So could you type another 2 or 1 in the comments? I think we're okay.
Okay.
I did hear the audio is the most important part.
Okay.
So.
Well, if they can see the background, you know, it's a screenshot.
That's right.
Audio is more important. We can repost it too if they want to see our faces. That's right, you know.
There you go.
Just imagine we look amazing.
We're
and the background is too. Visualize that, if you will.
All right, so here's the question from Trey. How do you walk the line off of coming authentic and being genuine with working with a potential client, but it's still early in the relationship building process?
That part's easy for me because I just am authentic and genuine in who I am. And I don't care if it is early in the process, late in the process. What you see is what you get. And that really is me. The other part is, even though I absolutely love to sell Amaze, if I happen to be talking to someone and they're saying our biggest challenges are this, like for instance, let's say they told me that my biggest challenge is it's inbound and marketing, I'm going to make the introduction to Corey, even at the expense of trying to pitch Amaze, just knowing that I would much rather have them solve the challenge and the issue that they're having right now. And what I've also found is if you do that enough, when those same people realize they can come to you and share, these are the challenges, you become the go-to for that. When they happen to be having a problem that is in your wheelhouse, it makes that much easier, but that's just an accidental benefit. It really is. The reason I do sales is because I love to solve problems, and that's really what you're doing. And it just so happens that a lot of people do use Amaze and need Amaze, and I love that part, but it's not the right solution for everyone at every time. So if someone comes to me when it's not, then that's fine. And I'm still happy to help in any way that I can.
Yeah, I think almost that's career peak, right? When you're getting phone calls, not even about your product, but they want your opinion on the industry, or, you know, if you're needing a new PMS and you want recommendations, that must make you feel so good.
You're absolutely right, Kimberly. Yeah. And knowing people at these different companies and fantastic people like you in my network that I can introduce when the time is right. And I really do, I love doing that.
Awesome. If you had 10 minutes a day, just 10 minutes to set up.
I do have 10 minutes a day, but go ahead.
I don't know, do you? I know you're busy. 10 minutes a day, how would you spend those 10 minutes setting up either LinkedIn, and we kind of went through LinkedIn, so maybe from more of a relationship building, are you calling just either current clients or prospective clients to?
So I actually time block, and I time block more than 10 minutes a day. So I will, and a lot of people that know me well know that if they get a call from me and we don't connect and they call me right back, a lot of times they will not get me. And the reason for that is I just on any given day, and sometimes it's written down, sometimes it's not, but I'll just hammer through people I want to catch up with. And so I'll just make that call and connect. So whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I typically will say like how much time I have at the beginning. So, hey, cool. Corey, it's Nick. I've got 15 minutes right now if you want to catch up. So you're setting the expectation in the beginning. And then, Corey may say, I've got 5. So it's like, great, let's chat for 5 minutes. Then after talking with Corey for those 5 minutes, I'll maybe call you, Kimberly, and then catch up on that. But so I'll have blocks of time that are dedicated to catching up with industry people. And with some, we actually schedule them, and we schedule them on a given cadence where we don't have a set agenda that we want to cover these items. We'll typically call them industry catch-ups. So then we just meet, and then we all talk about what we're seeing in the industry, how we can help each other, how we can help the industry and drive things forward. So I guess that's how I would block if I had those 10 minutes. Think, who are the people that I could reach out to? And as much as possible, not because you need something from them, but that you can help that person in some way.
Is there any other people in the hospitality industry you'd like to call out for doing a phenomenal job on the connecting kind of relationship building scale?
Corey Falter is absolutely amazing at it. So right here, Kimberly, you do a really good job at it.
Keep going.
Brian Knapp from Triple Seat. So I just had a really successful meeting, and Brian actually made that introduction. And he made an introduction to someone I already know, which is a really interesting thing, that it still holds a lot of value because then someone else is thinking about this and coming through. Marcy Albert from Hover does a really good job of doing that. Hi, Marcy. David Malilly, so the modern hotelier himself, and Steve Karen, of course. So you kind of loop those two together. They're out interviewing people. They did not send me my hat in time that I did order. So I could have been right here on this LinkedIn Live. I could have popped it on right here. It's possible it's sitting on my porch right now or in the mailbox. So maybe it's not all the way on them.
I heard they might be coming to San Diego. Maybe that's a rumor. I don't know. But
I think we're talking about that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a top secret one. They did not tell me that. So they did. But I would love to see those guys. They're great. And John, who's typically on the other side of the camera, who I have to shout out, has 2 years in a row recorded my session at High Tech with his awesome video work. And then this year, Bruce Jordan did as well. They both did a really nice job on it. I told them it was a competition. It really wasn't. I just wanted to double my content.
So when they come to San Diego, where are you taking them to eat?
Oh, that's a really good question. So San Diego has some of the best Mexican food in the country.
Hands down.
I would argue that it may be even better than the Mexican food in Mexico, which people in Mexico may have a hard time with that. But I have a couple of friends who are Mexican and said the same thing to me. They said, I like the Mexican food in San Diego even more. So again, the Mexican food is, of course, fantastic in Mexico, but the burritos here in San Diego, I will argue, are the best you can get in the country. That one's easy. I think they're the best you can get outside of the country. So Rudy's, there's one in Carlsbad.
Okay.
They do an unbelievable California burrito.
Oh, those are my favorite.
Really great, because you need a nice healthy French fry a few in your burrito as well.
You absolutely do.
And that there's Santana's, which I saw on the way here. I drove through Pacific Beach. I haven't been there in a long time, but when I was a younger man who would frequent the night spots a little bit more frequently, a late night burrito from there certainly did hit the spot. So.
Are you a Padres fan?
I am indeed a Padres fan.
Okay, good. So we would have had to cut it if you said something else.
I grew up as mainly a Red Sox fan because the family was from Boston, but moving to San Diego, I fell in love with the Padres. In fact, actually, before I moved down here, Jake Peavy was the Cy Young winning pitcher for the Padres. And I had a friend in LA who I thought was full of shit, excuse the language on the LinkedIn Live, who told me and when I first met him, that he had won an Emmy, a Grammy. He was Peyton Manning's cousin, and he was friends with Jake Peavy. So like, I said to my wife, I was like, this is LA. Like, everyone's full of it. And this guy, Craig, is most certainly full of it. And then, like, I'm in his place like 3 or 4 weeks later, and I look up on his balcony, and I see it's like Emmy, 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 Grammy, Grammy. And I was like, what the hell? And then I looked him up, I researched, I was like, oh yeah, he actually did. He worked with James Taylor on a song. Wow. And I can't remember if that was a Grammy or an Emmy. But then my wife, Marcy, who's absolutely amazing, she had a friend over and we're like, oh, we should have Craig come and hang out with us. So I call him up and I was like, hey, come on over. Bring your Emmy. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. I was like, just do it. It'll be funny. So he did. And then we all gave like acceptance speeches in the apartment, like with that. And then he left it there for like 3 months. Oh, so like, it was a lot of fun. And then my wife said we had to give it back, which she was of course right. But otherwise it could have been here with us right now. But so then that part where Jake Peavy, the pitcher for the Padres, was over at his house, and he called and he's like, oh yeah, Nick. He had a Southern accent. Nick, you said you wanted the ball, right? Well, Jake's here, and like, coolest guy in the world. Sat down with him, and he was awesome. And he actually went down, grabbed a game-used ball, and signed it for me.
Oh, that's cool. You have that ball still?
I still have that ball. It's sitting on my desk. And since then, I've been a huge Padres fan.
We're looking for an auction item for our, annual fundraiser.
It is personalized to me.
Oh, sure.
However, Craig, if you're listening and you're willing to, because obviously I don't know, I met Jake. I don't know Jake. If you're willing to sign that, then I would be happy to. But I am willing to, and I think this is relatively safe. I'm betting that we could get Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx and Sneaks, to sign a coffee mug to auction off.
That'd be cool.
That one I'm a little more comfortable with. And if Ford Blakely, if you're in right here, maybe you can hit up your sister to sign something for HSMAI San Diego.
Drop it in the comments if you're here. We're going to be following up with you after on that one for sure.
So otherwise it's going to have to be a Corey Falter signed pair of glasses.
That would be cool too.
Set up. Keep the doors open, guys.
Yeah. All right, well, I have one more question, then I'm going to turn it over to you, Corey, because I think you're going to wrap it up, right?
Really? No. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
You got it?
Bring it.
So last question, and it's a safe one, don't worry.
Ask the unsafe one instead. Let's put it out there.
No,
I'm ready.
I'm not comfortable yet. I'm still getting used to LinkedIn stuff.
All right,
so maybe in a year we'll have
here.
a follow-up, spicy, off the rails interview. But for now, we're going to keep it safe.
Perfect.
If there was one networking rule to break that you see people do it and you're like, you need to break that rule more often, what do you think it is? And by the way, I didn't mention this at the beginning of the interview. He did not get these questions in advance.
And I never do, and I don't give people the questions as far as that. So I would say there are no rules to what you're doing. So I'm going to break all of them as far as that, because when it comes to being yourself and adding value to people, however you choose to do that, you should and can. So there really are not any hard and fast rules. And so instead of a rule, what I would say is the advice is understand what people need as well as you can, and then do everything you can to help those people achieve their goals. And what you're going to find is a side effect of that is you're going to wind up achieving your own goals.
Awesome. I think that's a great way to...
Let me push back on that. I'm assuming you would not advise a pitch slap before a long conversation.
I am a huge fan of the pitch slap. No, I would agree. That is not the way to go. So you connect with someone on LinkedIn. And so those of you who do not know what the pitch slap is...
Pitch slap is in person too, by the way.
And that's as soon as you accept that invite, it is... Hi, I'm Corey Falter. Are you interested in marketing? Let me tell you how much marketing we have. We do better marketing than anyone else. You know what? It doesn't work effectively, and no one wants to be sold like that. It's just like right when you walk into a store, like if they attack you right away and try and sell you something, it does not work. Or in person, like you've got your shot just going right there. People start to turn off when that's happening. So I would say taking the time to get to know the person and go through there, and then...
Absolutely.
Who is it? What store is it that has, like, if you grab the green basket, you want to be helped, and if you grab the black basket, you want to be left alone? Do you guys? I don't
know, but I do like that.
Yeah.
Is that why you guys are wearing black? Left alone?
Yes, we were open book. We were talking. Yeah.
Don't challenge me, Corey. It is a power color. So We're here to intimidate, not be intimidated, Corey.
Is that
Not
that's
really.
Not, don't approach you.
Please always approach this. It is, we have an understanding, and we are the authorities on LinkedIn. We know this stuff, and we're showing that with the Black.
Besides, so
confidence
really.
is obviously a big thing.
Confidence is really hard for me. It really is. Like
you can tell I put down the official questions,
Nice.
right? Because now I'm comfortable, and we've asked the
this is behind the front desk.
Yeah,
that's right. Now we're ready for it.
I have one more, and then I'll cut it. But
this is great.
So he made me a fan of BITAC after I went in March. Like I really enjoyed that conference because of the way it's set up. Like,
I agree.
I genuinely really love how they do that.
And it was here in San Diego,
and it was,
which is,
yeah. And I mean,
we can't say it too loud here because we are at the Paradise Point Resort, but the Fairmont Grand Del Mar,
it was
Peregrine Hospitality happens to be absolutely amazing too.
That room was unbelievable. But
unbelievable.
If there was any other conference that you could pick besides BITAC, because I know that's the favorite, which one would it be to go to for networking? Like, who does a good job setting it up?
So I would say high tech, certainly, and the size and scale of what HFTP does with high tech is it's a massive show, and it has really a lot of great education, a lot of great networking opportunities, and it's big. So it's a lot, and then the hospitality show as well, which is in Denver.
And who doesn't like networking in a basement during a tornado watch? I mean, what kind of opportunities and contracts were signed out of that moment?
You really get to know somebody when
you did. I found out some deals that were struck in those basements with a tornado.
No.
I was during the tornado warning and the crazy wind. I actually have video because I was not in the basement.
I know, I wasn't either. I was at the bar.
I was standing up in the window looking at it. I was like, I guess I'll hear or see. So then my CEO was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, are you doing that? Because I just sent video. I was like, this is what's happening.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
I grew up in Indiana, so like that weather.
I didn't know that.
I did. Ooh. So that weather pattern was not exactly foreign to me.
Yeah.
But it is now that we live in beautiful San Diego.
I had no idea what was going on. I thought it was just like kind of windy, and then all of a sudden, everything broke loose. And
now, interesting dynamic because you like BITAC for the intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I know you're a big BITAC fan, but then you went the opposite direction with high tech, and I get overwhelmed at those events. I'm not exactly sure where. So can you maybe clarify the value or how you could strike that difference? Because obviously they're very complete opposites.
And my game plan is totally different for the two shows because of the way they're set up. But I like any event that's bringing a large number of hospitality professionals together into one place because I love connecting and seeing old friends. So where high tech is kind of the extreme on the other side of BITAC. And I really do love both. I love both types of
events. Let me follow-up question on that. So if you're not actively on LinkedIn and you don't have necessarily name recognition on that, could you see that somebody just going to one of those shows with not specific objectives or wandering around could get overwhelmed and not necessarily get a whole lot done because you're sitting there badge scanning and not exactly sure where to go from there?
Well, and that's the other part. So at a large scale trade show like that, which we realized this very early on, if you just show up and expect the leads to come to you, you're not going to have a great time. So when I was an exhibitor at High Tech, I would start my planning and outreach somewhere around 6 months before the event. So I would also, I was at the time handling a lot of different customers. So I would have to curate dinners where I would choose the people that would get along with each other. So sometimes I would have to do more than one dinner in a night just because I had to spend enough time with enough customers. Yeah. So I would typically have 13 or 14 people at each dinner, and I would schedule one early, one late, and then go through. And then I would also schedule as much of my time as I could in advance because once you're there, people are relatively booked. So now Karen McNamara, the CIO of Aimbridge, the two of us now, we schedule in advance time for both of us because we love to walk the floor together at High Tech. So
I'm getting an idea. The Nick Horgan networking conference OS system. That is insane. How you schedule those times and be able to optimize that FaceTime, right? Because you fly in these places, there's so many faces, there's so many booths, there's so much activation, there's so many parties. I come away sometimes going, I don't know exactly what happened. That was insane. It's almost like a whirlwind. You go into the Del Mar Fair Carnival rides and you're not sure what rides to go on. But having a strategy and to be able to plan that out, I could see how you would get a lot more ROI out of your FaceTime.
Well, and that's where, so that is, I do like to maximize the time because the opportunities are big. So with that and the plan, and I'm also very big on setting goals. So goals for what you want from the conference, how to get there. And that's not typically something that can be done if you decide like on the plane, on the way there, like this is what I want to do.
Yeah, you need ramp up time.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Yeah. By the way, I want a beef to pick with you on the burrito situation.
I'm ready.
You Beach Boys have no idea what a true SoCal burrito from Roberto's, the OG.
I love Roberto's.
But the real ones are inland. So you have not even lived a moment unless you've had a conga burrito at Roberto's, and it will blow away a California burrito to smithereens.
What makes it good? Is it the salsa? Is it the cheese? Like, what do you think?
Roberto's carne asada is
so
incredibly, I can taste it right now. But the salsa and just the way that the tortillas are made, oversized. The beans actually have that liquid grease on top, where there's almost like
sounds healthy.
Oh,
So
it's insane.
Roberto's, we'll pretend he didn't say that about the grease part, so you're not going to give
that's
free
the
burritos
best. That's the best part.
I love the one by the beach. There's one right by Ponto, and but I'll have to check.
That's a knockoff, man. I've been there. You got to go. I got to take you back to the OG.
I don't know the directions for inland because why would I want to get far away from the coast?
I know.
Beach?
I know. Hey, some of us
for you, Corey, I'll do it.
I got a lot of networking skills to get closer to the beach to cap off, so I can get closer to you. So before we go, I've got.
Is there any questions in the chat I should ask?
Actually, you know what? I was gonna. I was going to quickly say, quick shout out to you from Jack McCune from Medallia.
Oh, hey,
he's awesome.
He's a great guy.
He's amazing.
Nice to see you.
But if you guys have any questions, unfortunately, we're having a connectivity issue right now. So if you have any questions, can you drop them in the HSMEI LinkedIn company page? Because that's the feed I'm on right now. I'm not being rude. I'm actually trying to monitor the chats on my phone. So, Kimberly, you want to maybe check that out while we?
Yeah, absolutely.
So while you're doing that, Nick, I want to ask you a quick question. I know you touched on this a little bit, but a lot of leaders.
Hats are coming off.
A lot of leaders in LinkedIn think you need to be serious on LinkedIn, and it's only a serious platform to do business. Would you agree or disagree? Why or why not?
So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to use a quote that came up from BITAC 2 years ago, and it was Sarah Blakely, who I got to interview on the stage, and she talked about building $1 billion empire at Spanx, and she said, you don't have to be serious to be taken seriously. So I look at that, and that's someone who built literally $1 billion company and did it without destroying people on the way or anything else. So it was truly growing, going through there. And a lot of the advertising was really cheeky with that, which makes sense with shaping. Right. But really, I have such respect for that. And I agree with it. And I love to make jokes. Now, this is I love the 80s hat, great sunglasses. And I think that's wholly appropriate for LinkedIn. And I do like to make jokes and go through there. The biggest thing for me, though, as long as it's not at someone else's expense. So like that part of it, like that I don't have any patience for, or if you're trying to bring someone else down. But like if you're trying to bring some levity to a situation and have fun with it, I think that's fantastic.
Now, some people would post some of their personal stories or things that they're interested in, and maybe some of their leaders would look at that and go, why are you doing that? Or can you explain a little bit more of the psychology behind it?
So I would say those leaders are most likely optimizing for a world that does not exist anymore.
Great.
So where
great.
it is looking at, this is how we do this, we don't do this, we don't do that, where if you're hiring the right people, and again, you don't want anyone who's out there that's going to potentially tarnish your brand, but if you're doing a good job hiring the right people, you should want them to bring their full, true, authentic selves just out there, and then they can be brand ambassadors for you. The other part that I think is important to note is your personal LinkedIn is not owned by your company. That is you. That goes with you as you transition, make career differences. So I personally don't think a company should be able to tell you what you can and cannot post unless it's about this company. So like that, I think that there can and should be rules that if you're, especially you're representing a large public company, you can't be like just out there making announcements.
Sure. Now, what about some of the barriers of some of the founders, CEOs discouraging their team to be on LinkedIn because they think that their personal brand, and if they're one of their key sellers or money makers, will be poached? Can you tell?
Well, what I'd say to those leaders is you're not building the right environment. What you want to do is build a company that's so fantastic that you're not worried about other people's taking. So if you're leading from fear, then the other part I would say is the very best leaders actually want the most from their employees, even if that includes where they may go somewhere else.
Very good.
And that's the part where on our team, I know we absolutely love and value all of our employees, but if I found out there was someone that had a much better opportunity somewhere else, I think it's a mistake to not support those people.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So for our next session, you get to nominate who you think should come on our web series next. Who do you think that's gonna?
Good question. So
who's that gonna be?
Here in San Diego, which I didn't know I was going to get the question, so I do not have approval from this person. So if he doesn't want to do it, I apologize. But Robert Marusi, the Chief Commercial Officer from the Hotel Del Coronado and Grand Wailea, he is absolutely phenomenal. He's a really great leader. I think you may have met him at ViTAC when we were together. He is an Amaze Insights Award winner. He's here in the market. And as far as a backdrop for a live event, the Hotel Del Coronado is a absolutely iconic, phenomenal backdrop on a beautiful beach in Coronado, California. So you have the view of just unbelievable ocean there, and then any pictures you're taking with the iconic red roof. And they also just completed a massive renovation.
Oh, wow.
And what a hotel that was already absolutely beautiful is even better right now.
Awesome. Well, that's all I had. Corey, do you have any concluding remarks before we go to a very early happy hour?
No, this has been great.
Awesome.
That was fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting HSMAI San Diego. Very much appreciated, Nick.
And thank you to all of you for tuning in or watching this later on LinkedIn. We appreciate you.
Awesome. Well, thank you.